Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Entitled Parents Reddit video. In our first story, happy 4th of July to you too, you selfish witch. Let's jump right in. My husband's entitled mother is absolutely notorious for doing these things in this order, constantly criticizing and guilt-tripping us about not visiting enough, asking us to appear at her house on a certain day. We call and text that day before leaving her house to confirm arrangements. She says yes. We drive the hour to her house. We arrive and she is not there. Yes, at the appointed time. We are expected to wait for her to get home. Sometimes it's 4 or 5 hours. Sometimes she never comes back at all. During this interlude in passive-aggressive hell, sometimes she responds to us on her cell phone. Often she doesn't, and my husband wastes half his day off waiting in her empty house. Sometimes she eventually comes back, sometimes she does not. After experiencing this a few times with my dear husband, I now give her 20 minutes, then we leave. Several hours later, when she finally arrives home and does not see us patiently waiting, she starts texting angrily about, "Why weren't you there? And why didn't you call me?" We were there. We did call her. She sends passive-aggressive texts for the next 4 to 10 days, absolutely infuriated that we did not spend all day waiting for her. There is a variation of this where she says she's coming to my house. It's usually her idea because, duh, I know she's about as reliable as a dead cat. In that version, we clear one of dear husband's days off for her. We miss out on other things we'd rather do. We cook food to feed her dinner. We clean the house and stress all day instead of relaxing. And then she either doesn't show up at all, cancels just before she was supposed to arrive, or sends a string of texts and calls, lots of texts and calls, about how her life is hard and she's busy doing things, and okay, she guesses she's not coming. She does this on my son's and dear husband's birthdays. She does it at the holidays. She does it on summer weekends when we all could have been doing something else. So, okay, I guess I'm partly to blame for what happened yesterday, July 4th, because I know what she's like, and in all the busy of the weekend of the 4th, we make it to fireworks, a barbecue, and 2 different birthday parties in 2 days. I forgot to have a backup plan in case Grandma bailed on our plans. More fool me. To fit her into our crammed weekend, we cut out some much-needed quiet family time, naps at our house, before we went to the fireworks at 10. We had been planning this with her all week. Dear husband texted to confirm before leaving our house an hour away. She said yes. We arrive, and guess what? The witch isn't there. She decided to go out on her boat instead. It was 90+ degrees. It's 6 p.m. and we've got 4 hours to kill before fireworks. We can't wait in the heat, and I am not going to wait all day in her house with my son, who is being blown off by Grandma yet again, and who didn't get a 4th at all last year because of COVID. We don't have enough gas or gas money to drive home, sleep till fireworks time, and drive back. So I took him swimming. I had to buy shorts for both of us to swim in because we had on nice new clothes for Grandma's dinner she was supposedly having us over for. Thank God Walmart is cheap. It was too hot to not swim, so we are splashing around and actually having a great time, and about 3 hours later, the frantic texts and calls began. She is furious because, "Why didn't you call me? And why didn't you answer my text? And are you coming over to eat or not?" I made dear husband turn his phone off, and we ate McDonald's for dinner and went to a completely different spot to watch fireworks than we usually do. It was on the river, and the sunset over the water was absolutely beautiful, and we had tons of fun giving each other silly internet quizzes. Great memories for my son, and that's what really matters, not his super selfish grandma. Story number 2. Entitled Mom thinks my baby's birthday is her day. Okay, so first off, I'm writing this on my phone, so if formatting is off, I apologize. Second, the entitled parent in this story is my mom. Okay, so here we go. Back in April of this year, my wife had our baby. During that time, COVID was still rampant and restrictions were still strict. The hospital rules were that my wife was allowed to have 2 people on file that could visit her, but only one could be in the hospital at a time. Being her husband and the father of her child, she obviously chose me as her first support person, and then she chose my mom as her second. My wife was high risk, so she had to have a planned C-section. Prior to the operation, I texted my mom, getting ready to go back to the operating room, say a quick prayer. Then I went back with my wife. She ended up losing a lot of blood during the surgery, so her recovery took a really long time. It was several hours before I was even allowed to see her. During my wife's recovery, I was in the nursery with the baby, making sure that everything was okay with him. About an hour into my wife's recovery, a nurse comes in and says, "Hey, there's someone on the phone asking for you. Can I transfer them over?" I say sure, and the phone in the nursery rings, so I answer. "Hello?" "How dare you not answer me? I've been texting and calling all day." "What do you mean? I don't even have my phone. My wife is still in recovery." "You are a liar. You texted me earlier that you were going back to the surgery room." "Yeah, I did. But then I left my phone in the hospital room so that I could be emotionally supportive to my wife and not be on my phone during the birth of my child." "What? You mean you didn't even take a video of the surgery? I told everyone that I would have videos to post." No, I didn't. And even if I did, they wouldn't be for Facebook." "I can't believe you. Don't talk to me that way. I can't believe that you would do this to me on my day." Then I got tired of her and just hung up the phone mid-conversation. I just didn't talk to her for a while and finally had time to get my phone back. I take some pictures of the baby, send them to my mom, hoping she was just being emotional earlier, and give her a call. "Why would you do this to me?" "Do what to you?" "Push me away like this. It's been hours and I haven't been able to see the baby." "Huh? My wife is still in recovery. You're lucky I'm even able to send you pictures." "I don't care if she's still in recovery. I should be allowed to come see him. This is my day and you are ruining it." "Mama, listen. I love you, but you are not doing this to me today. I'll talk to you later." And I hung up again. Later that day, after my wife had been checked on multiple times, she was back in her normal room and out of recovery. She was able to get up and walk a little bit. We let my mom come see the baby. Remember, while she was in there, I had to leave the room due to the COVID policy. The whole time she was in the room with the baby and my wife, she was complaining about how we pushed her out, left her in the dark, and ruined her day. And she kept me away from my baby by not leaving for more than an hour. I know that this isn't as radical as some of the other stories, but it's still entitled and narcissistic, and trust me, I have plenty more stories of my own mom being an entitled mother. I might just share some more soon. Edit. For everyone saying that I should have protected my wife and not let my mom come in, I agree. In hindsight, I was wrong. I have grown up with her narcissism my whole life, and it has become normalized to me. My mom was calling and texting the whole day asking when she could come constantly. My wife knew that that was going on. We both thought that it was weird and annoying, and we tried to appease her in hopes of keeping the peace and in hopes of her being decent. I was wrong, and I should have put my foot down, and for that I have apologized to my wife more times than I can count. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, then subscribe, and make sure you click on the notifications bell so that YouTube will show you my videos. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.